I'm going to teach you how to play Junkerqueen so well that you find yourself with a 72% win rate in 4 hours of gameplay. As you can see here, in roll queue in this is season 18, I've got 22 games played, 16 lost, or 16 won, 6 lost, which gives me a 72% win rate. And in that, I've got 26.8 elims per 10, 4 dash per 10, and around 12k dash per 10, which is really good. And this is all in roll queue, and currently I'm like M3 right now. So I got placed in like Diamond 4 to Diamond 3. I don't play tank a lot, so I think my rank was just like really low in the placements. And then I just basically just one-tricked Queen up to M3. And I think in the next coming days, I'll be GM. So I'm in the training range, not to explain to you. Okay, so you throw a knife and you can pull people, because if you play the game, then you know what this ability does. Everyone knows what these abilities do. I'm going to demonstrate how I use them and how to generally play the character. By the way, if you want coaching, check out that top link in the description. The Queen is obviously naturally a close range character, and as a tank, if you've seen my other tank videos, playing corners and using your cooldowns very well is a very fundamental part of playing tank. So as Queen, you'll want to play corners, close range, and you'll want to be using your knife and your Carnage to do a bunch of damage so that we can force out cooldowns, so that we can use our shout to engage on people who have no cooldowns. Now, let me explain each cooldown. So knife, you want to throw it out as often as possible, but like don't rush it. Like as soon as you turn the corner, like don't rush it, because you might not hit it all the time. You want to take half a second to see the enemy, line it up, and then throw it. And then when you pull them in, you've got a couple of options, right? You can either just pull them and then shoot them, or if you pull them in close enough, then you can either do a pull and a Carnage, but I would only do that if you know they have no movement ability, or else you're going to waste your Carnage. Or you can do this. You can pull them and then shoot melee, and that's going to do a lot of damage, and it's going to give you the bleed, which is obviously going to give you the healing stuff. It's going to be very nice. But yeah, you want to use your knife very often, because this is going to be the most common way to force out cooldowns. Because once you pull people in, they get put in danger, and then they've got to use their cooldowns to get out. Our Carnage, same thing with knife. We want to try and play obviously in range to land our Carnage as much as possible, because that's another way of how we're going to force out cooldowns, and it's going to allow us to just do a bunch of damage. A tip for Carnage, you can like extend the hitbox of the swing. So like if you think you're not going to get the hit, okay, let me go on a stationary guy. So if you think you're not going to quite like reach them with these swings, like say like you don't think you're going to reach them here, you can do this and then pan your camera towards them at the end of the swing, because it gives you extra range. And make sure you're not using Carnage from too far away, because then you'll miss, and then you'll have a full 8-second cooldown, and you just don't really want to miss. You want to make sure you're actually playing close enough so that when you start the Carnage, you can actually land it and get a bunch of damage. And now our shout. This is our most important cooldown. The other two cooldowns, we can kind of just use whenever we see an opportunity to. Oh, someone's close, Carnage. Oh, I'm throwing out my knife, I got it, cool. But shout, we want to make sure we're actually using it for a purpose. And how we're going to use shout? Well, we're going to either use it to engage on someone when they have no cooldowns. So let's say this is like an Anna. I pull her in, I dodge the sleep, and now she has no sleep. So I can use shout with my movement speed and more health to engage, and then just kill her. Or we can use it to disengage. So let's say we're holding a corner, and we get forced out, we take a bunch of damage. We can use our shout to disengage to the next corner, like without dying. Also, sometimes you can use it on your teammates if you think they need it. So let's say your Zen's getting dove by like a tracer, and you see that, you can shout over to him and like peel him a little bit. But I don't recommend doing that a lot, because it doesn't give him a lot of health. It doesn't always help, but it can help. And Jakku's ult, pretty simple. You want to use it as early as possible when you see a bunch of people lined up, and then you just kill them one by one. Very simple. Obviously, if you know they're gonna have cooldowns like life grip, Suzu, anything that can like cleanse it, like a Zarya bubble, stuff like that, try and force it out first with your damage, with your shotgun, with your knife and Carnage. and then go for the ult. But sometimes you're not always going to mess with what's out, so sometimes you will just have to rip the ult. And it is what it is. Right, her perks. So when it comes to her perks, I basically always only choose this one, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples of why in the replays I'm going to go over. Because this perk is so ridiculously broken. It's unreal. Basically, when you use your ult, you can't get CC'd. So like normally, you know, when you start ulting, sometimes you can get slapped out of it. With this perk, you can't be CC'd at all. And it also resets your cooldowns. So if I swing my axe and I use shout and I use my knife, you can see it's all on cooldown. But when I ult, it refreshes all of the cooldowns. I'm sure you can imagine why this is OP. It's like Echo, right? You can go in, use your bombs, your laser, your flight, and then copy someone. You get that hero's cooldowns, a new set of HP and stuff. And then when you come out of the copy, you get your cooldowns back. So it's like you get 3 sets of cooldowns in one play. It's really strong. But her major perks, you know, it's actually kind of situational. So Willy Willy, okay, basically, if I'm playing against a comp where I can pretty often land Carnages and I'm not struggling to land them because, you know, they're playing a very split comp or like a long range comp, I'm usually going to pick this one just like by default. But if I'm playing against a comp where it's kind of hard to get a Carnage off, then I'm going to find myself taking this one. Because it's going to give me more damage and it's going to give me more healing because the radius is bigger when you recall it. And it also just does more damage on impact as well. And the battle shout, like, I used to take this one before they added this perk, but like now I don't really see the point because like this ult perk is just so strong. It's unreal. Also, I kind of forgot to talk about our melee. It's not that complicated. You just want to weave in melees with shots as you're shooting. So you know you can like, you know, shoot melee, shoot, and then melee. Just like, you know, just like melee enough to keep up the wound. And after some testing, you can melee and then shoot about 3 to 4 times before the wound disappears, and then you can melee again. So like if you want to min max the wound up time, melee 1, 2, 3, 4, melee 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's not that important. Just, you know, try and weave in melees whenever you can, like when you're pulling in a knife, or if you Carnage and then you can shoot melee, stuff like that. But now I'm gonna go into some replays and I'm gonna show you like how I play and go over my thought process of like different plays I make. Okay, so I want to go over some like annoying matchups for Queen. So Queen is generally a pretty good tank into most other tanks, but there's some tanks that just are like frustrating to play into. Tanks, like, honestly, okay, no, let me just go into the hero selection so I can show you. So tanks, like, in my experience of about 4 hours playing, the tanks I've had the most trouble with have been Ryan, Hog, and sometimes Hazard, but not too often. The rest of the tanks, unless the player's like really good, I don't seem to have too much trouble. But I haven't played against like Sig or Diva or Ball too much, so I can be a problem as well. But if you use your cooldowns right, it's not that big of a deal. But I'd say that the most annoying tanks are definitely Ryan, Hog, and Hazard, because Hog and Ryan kind of just stop you from doing damage to other people because they can just pin you down, hook you. It makes it very hard for you to play. But when they don't have pin, when they don't have hook, you can kind of play around that and then go for their team. But because, you know, stuff like that is on such short cooldown, it makes it very hard to play frontline or go for their backline. So you're kind of like feeling stuck on what to do. Hazard as well, because he's just got so much like utility in his wall and his slash and his and his block, just like everything. It can be annoying, but I'm gonna demonstrate how I play into some of these matchups. Obviously, I don't think I have clips of all the matchups, but I've got some of it. So against Ryan here, like let me go back. So when I see Ryan, I'm immediately like, okay, I don't want to front face this guy because he's gonna get more value from holding shield than I am from shooting his shield. Because when he holds shield, he's protecting his team, and his team can just shoot through the shield and kill my team. So my thought is, okay, I need to try and go like for an angle, try and get kills, and then try and distract. I see the sim over here. And I used my shout to go on her because I thought I was gonna be able to kill her. I wasn't. It's fine. And here I'm just like I'm not trying to shoot the Ryan. I'm trying to shoot anyone but the Ryan because Ryan's got so much HP and so much shield that it's like I'm not gonna mess to kill him. And then when I see him pin in, I then go for his backline, and I can do this because I've got shout. I missed most of my shots though, so it's just kind of tough. Let me just lose the fight because I didn't realize we were backing up. So hey, so like you see how it's just like hard to brawl the Ryan because he just does way more damage than me, and I can't sustain. It's like I'm trying to go for anyone else, but this is where the matchup becomes hard because if you go for someone else and he chooses to pin on you, you're basically dead. Especially if you have no shout. But even if you have shout, it's still really hard to live because it's like not like shout doesn't last very long if the Ryan wants to pin on you, and it becomes very difficult to play. Because it feels like any way you go, the Ryan's going to chase you. But that's kind of how you win this matchup. The way you win this matchup is by just making the Ryan chase you, and you just have to position just far enough away to where he's like, wait, this queen's a threat. But you're playing kind of close enough to your team to where you can cycle back to them. And then you've just distracted Ryan, and then your team has free space. And that's especially good for my comp, where I've got Genji Soj, because they can benefit a lot from having free space. And then we just win the fight from there. So, like, yes, I died, but because I had the Ryan on me the whole time, whilst I was still doing damage to, like, the squishies, my team just had unlimited space there. I'm not sure how that hits me. Like, I'm using the box as cover, but it's fine. So, again, tank fundamentals. I'm just holding the corner where they want to walk through. I honestly I didn't expect him to just pin forward, but because I'm like 400 health, and I'm seeing them walk through, they probably don't know I'm right here. I just shout so that I can like sustain myself, and then I walk forward with my Carnage because there's two here. If I Carnage two people, that's a lot of damage. And also I managed to shout my whole team here, which is kind of crazy. I shouted my whole team, which might help them live. Yeah, I'm just playing the corner, and then I'm just using my Carnage to get a bunch of damage, trying to use my knife. I use my shout to engage, a bit paradoxically to what I said in the training range. I used my shout to engage, even though I was low, because I just had a rough idea that I knew that they didn't know I was on the floor there. Okay, I'm just gonna wait till my ult. I just want to see how I use my ult. I don't really care about the fire. Okay, I don't think I use my ult here. So yeah, I'm just holding the corner. They can't get through this choke without me doing a bunch of damage to them, because them trying to push this choke means I get very good Carnages, you know, decent knives. I can't pull them very well uphill. If you don't know, pulling people like up a staircase like barely moves them. Like if someone's here and I pull them, they're gonna move like 2 meters. It's not very good. But yeah, them trying to push through that choke just is not gonna go well for them. But I push him because she is isolated. And now I know she's down here and that she just used TP. And it doesn't really matter that she has the shield because I'm basically a melee hero. I can just go down there and just melee her and kill her. You see? But melee dead. And then they've just made it through the choke. So I just engage because I know I'm probably gonna die. And here I ult. Like the reason why I ulted is again because of this perk. So I used my cooldown, shout, knife, Carnage, and then because I didn't want the Ryan to just swing on me. Having Ryan swing on me is probably the worst thing that can happen. So I ult, 1 to get away from the Ryan, 2 to hit the enemies with anti. Obviously I'm gonna hit all 3 of these people, but 3 I get my cooldowns back. And that's kind of the most important part. So once I get my cooldowns back, I can choose whether or not I want to re-engage. But I do only hit Anna somehow. I'm not sure how I only hit Anna, but it's fine. I use knife to kill her. And then I'm not gonna jump down there yet because I have no shout and they have beat. So I don't need to drop right now, but I drop now because I see the Ryan pin off the point, and now I can contest point and not let them cap. And here you see, I'm really not trying to brawl Ryan. If I can go for anyone else, I'm gonna go for someone else because Ryan has way too much HP, and it's very hard to live. You see how hard it is to play when there's just a Ryan swinging on me. But I think, but the counterplay I've found for like a Ryan just swinging on you is not really using my shout to engage. So like, I'm gonna walk in and like walk on enemies and try and do damage, but I'm not gonna use my shout to engage if I know the Ryan's gonna go on me, because then I can just save the shout to get out if I'm getting in too much danger. So there, that is the benefit of just using your knife constantly, because I pulled her off the high ground and then she died. Almost the same. Oh no, the same thing with Sim, but she TP's out. But then you see here, my 5-second cooldown made her get pulled down into a bad position and made her use her 12-second cooldown. So I'm using my knife to force our cooldowns. Sorry, my PC sounds like it's gonna explode. Okay, we'll just go over this last fight and then I'll go into the next kind of game. So here, like, look, I'm pushing this Genji here. Why? Because bro, like, it's just Genji isolated and he has no dash or deflect. Like, he's just killable. And why can I do this? Because I've got shout. Ultimately, if things go really bad and somehow this Genji just like quadruple headshots me, I can just shout out and then go back to like a safe corner. Yeah, I just shout because then we can try and confirm the kill, but we don't because we low-key suck balls. And here you'll notice the Ryan pushes me. I'm using this corner. If he wants to fully push me, then he's gonna have to walk in LOS of my whole team, whilst I keep walking back with cover. No one else can shoot me. But if he wants to come push me, he's either gonna have to waste a lot of shield or get shot at a lot and lose a lot of health. Either way, it's a lose-lose for him. But I'm not gonna like engage. Now, if we didn't cap the point here, I would have stayed here. I would have waited for my shout to get back, and then I would have tried to engage. Because I don't want to engage with no shout, because it's just not a very good situation for me to be in. Okay, I wanted to show you this really crazy thing that happened. Because I genuinely thought this was insane. So for some context, this is the last fight. If anyone wins this fight, then they win the game. And I have ult, and I know they have Suzu and B. Okay, so like this is fucked. So I see them use rush. I walk in with my shout. I normally wouldn't do this, but my plan is I'm just gonna use shout to go in, try and force out Suzu from the Scarecrow, and then I'm just gonna ult. But what happens is kind of crazy. So they Suzu there. I don't realize they Suzu that, by the way. I did not realize they Suzu this. So I'm like, I have no cooldowns, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go for the ult because why not? And you know here, oh fuck, oh like they beat and they played, oh it's fucking over. Nope, the Ryan dies, and then because they have no tank, we just win the fight. So let me show you what actually happened here. So a lot of things happen at once, so I'm gonna have to ask you to bear with me, okay? So they Suzu, so they can't cleanse my ult. I throw my knife in Ryan, okay? Watch Lucio and Ryan. But first we'll go over the Ryan. So I pull the Ryan. Obviously you can see my knife, and then he goes for the pin. I go for the ult, but because my perk makes me unstoppable, aka unCCable, he gets stuck on me around here, right? He gets, I'm not entirely sure what happens there. I think he hits me, but it's like really delayed. It's like he hits me, and then he gets bumped right here. And then you can see the Lucio is beating, but because the Ryan didn't pin a little bit more forward because he pinned me, he didn't get the beat, and then because he didn't get the beat, he's backing up and running away, but it doesn't matter because by the time he gets back and he takes his TP, he dies. So like this is just one example of why you should take this broken OP perk, because we literally won this fight on accident because like this perk is just broken. Like let me show you this from his POV. right? So like him pinning me here is a perfectly good play, right? This is a perfectly good play if I didn't have that perk, because like he hits me, the Lucio beats, and just because he's not over here and he's over here, he misses the beat, and then he dies to the Genji, and then boom, that's it, and then we win the fight. I just thought that was such an insane way for them to lose because it's so like unlucky, but that's just how it is. I'm gonna show you some more fight examples now. Okay, this is World, and honestly, they have a lot of time. It's not looking too good, but let me just explain like what is going on here. So my goal right now is to take control of this high ground, so that my team can walk up and take all this space and take the high ground, so that we can pressure them off the cart. We don't really want to take the fight below, because then the Doom and the Genji can just go up top and shoot and stage from above. And by the way, staging is just like a fancy word for setting up as like a dive hero. So like Genji would want to stage up here if we're down here, because then he can be in a good position to then dive us from this position. Yeah, I want to take this high ground because I don't want them to have this high ground, because it lets my team play up here, and then we can force them off the cart, because this is an objective game. So to do that, I need to actually walk up here. So I see Doom down there. I know and I know he's used block, but then I just focus on Genji because I didn't think the Doom was going to be very killable. But then I see the Doom go over here, and I know he's used punch and block, and now he's Discord. So now that I know he's used cooldowns, I didn't really have to do anything. He's just in front of me on a silver platter. I'm gonna use my shout so that we can confirm the kill here, and that's exactly what we do. And then once my shout's over, now I've got to play a little more passive. I'm not saying I need to play incredibly passive, because I'm still doing damage and stuff, but I just need to make sure I'm not going to get myself killed. Because with our shout, I'm quite vulnerable. And then you see here, just as my shout comes back, I'm engaging. So like, yeah, my shout's on a 3-second cooldown, but I can still engage, because they're not going to kill me in 3 seconds. And then by the time I get back, or by the time I engage, I have shout, and I'm fine. I use Carnage on my knife to get value, and then there we go. And then the Doom just feeds, and because I'm using my knife constantly, I'm always able to get opportunities to land it. And then now this Doom is just fucked. He's used punch, in as far as I'm aware, and I can knife him back if he tries to slam out, and if he uses block, then me and Genji can just kill him really fast. So he's just dead here. There's nothing he can do. I try and Carnage him as well, and that's it. Okay, I just want to show you the last fight of the round here. So again, I'm just holding the corner. I'm not walking up here trying to shoot them. I'm just playing over here, holding my corner. But like, what does the corner allow you to do as tank? Well, as Queen at least, it allows you to peek and throw out knives and damage whenever you want. It gives you a good position of cover to use your Carnage from. So like, if anyone walks into you, you can just peek at the corner, Carnage, and then they take a bunch of damage, or you take a minimal amount of damage. And it also allows you to set up your ult, and it allows you to think about when you want to use shout, because if they push you too much and things are getting dangerous, you can use your shout to get out if you need to, or if you see an opportunity to go in because you've been using this corner and you're kind of shooting and scouting from here, then you can use your shout to go in, and you've got somewhere to default back to if things get too dangerous. I don't remember what happens in this fight. So Doom goes in. I can't do much about Doom, so I'm just gonna worry about the guys in front of me. I don't need to worry about the Doom if he is over here taking a 1v1. Maybe I could throw a knife and try and help, but it's unlikely that I'm gonna hit it from here. So I'm just gonna focus on my enemies right here. Let's go for knives. See how I'm able to pump out damage whilst they hit me a minimal amount. Now obviously their Doom died, which makes it very easy for me to go in. Plus I have rush, so I just shout and I just go in. Because there's no fear, because their Doom's dead, we have rush visor, we're fine. I go for a knife, because why not? And then we just kill Genji there. Okay, I thought that fight was going to be way more interesting, but it wasn't. But like, you can see though how I'm using this corner as a sort of like stage before I go in. You know, I'm not pushing forward until I see an advantage. What is my advantage for me to come in? Doom dying. Rush, them moving backwards, right? Because if they're moving backwards, they're giving me space to walk forwards. And then because you've got so much damage and like speed and stuff, I'm able to just go fully in and kill them. Okay, I just want to show this quick moment of just like how to use shout. So here, my hunter kills Alari, you know, a good shot, and then he kills Kiriko in the exact same way. Hanzo's OP, so let's nerf the Sierra Blizzard, please. But anyway, because we're up 2 and they have no supports, I'm like, okay, I could just walk in. I have full health, all my cooldowns. Why not? I see Cass used roll, so that's my sign to shout in. On top of the fact that they have no support, so I shout in. I try and go for a kill. I realize that I'm not really gonna get the kill because if I go in this far to try and go for a Carnage, because I have no knife right now, so I can't pull him in. If I go this far to go for a Carnage, I'm gonna be overextending. My shout's gonna run out like by the time I even try and walk back, and then I'm just gonna die. So I use shout to go in briefly, see if I can get a kill off of them having no cooldowns, and then when I see I can't, I just back up. On tank, it's very important not to feed and overextend yourself. Here is the importance of using your knife as often as fuck, I can't speak. Here is just a clip of where using your knife as often as possible can be very beneficial for you. So they're coming out spawn. I'm doing damage before the fight. I pull him into the damage and then he dies. Boom. We wouldn't get that kill if I just wasn't using my knife constantly. Here, I just want to show the importance of understanding when to push forward and when to push back. So I'm moving forward because I want to take space and stuff, and then when we rush, I'm even more emboldened to push forward. And when I see Genji has no deflect, I try and shout him. And I don't know why I shout actually. I think this was quite a bad shout because like you know nothing was really killable. Like sure, yeah, like I really shouldn't have shot here. So bad shout from me. But I'm in because we have rush and we have an advantage. But then they pop rush and they pop captive sun, so I realize, oh okay, I need to back out. And they also use barrage as well, so I just back out. So they just use 3 ults, and I'm not dead because I understood that I had to back out. And then I go in because they're kind of out of resources now, like in terms of ults. So now I can like counter attack, and then I've got my cooldowns back soon as well. So I see Zarya's use both her bubbles, and so now I just walk forward, or at least one bubble, I think. So I walk forward, and I use all my cooldowns, and then when I know they're not gonna have cooldowns, this is when I'm gonna use my ult and go in. Okay, no, that's Suzu. I'm fucking stupid. But I just went in because I knew I could win the fight by just going in, using my cooldowns, then ulting, and then getting my cooldowns back. Actually, we lose this fight. You see, I'm constantly going for the Carnages if I'm in range. Always go for the Carnages. And then we just clean up the fight, and then we win. But like, we only win this fight because I didn't die in this kind of forwards and backwards fight here. So like, we use rush, and then they use ults. So I move forwards and I move backwards, and then when their ults are over, I move forwards. Even though it's quite risky, I know I'm going to live. Because I've got shout, and then I ult in, and then boom. I'm able to just get a lot of picks for free. Okay, so again, with Queen ult, you want to use it as soon as possible. But sometimes it's not going to be the best because if they have cooldown stack and cleanse it, then it's going to be basically a wasted ult, and you're going to be in the middle of nowhere. So what should you do? You should try and force out the cooldowns of the people who can cleanse it, or in this case, kill them. So, just for some context, they are walking back from spawn because we won the fight, and I hear the D.Va go on the left. And I chase her. The reason why I chase her is because if these guys walk forward, it's going to take too long. And me staying here doing nothing is, well, it's going to be doing nothing. So I go for the D.Va because these guys aren't far enough forward to actually be a threat yet. So I just go on the D.Va. And then you'll notice, as soon as I'm close enough for a Carnage, I just use Carnage. I see D.Va on the corner, I Carnage. Now, I get lucky that the Kiriko appears here. And she gets hit as well, and the Soldier. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, Kiriko's low. If I can try force out Suzu, that's going to be really good because then I'm going to ult instantly. But I get lucky and I just kill the Kiriko. So I immediately pop my ult. No hesitation. Why? Because if Kiriko's dead, they have no way to cleanse it. Now, I do only hit one guy, which is, you know, quite unfortunate because I could have hit, like, way more. But my point still stands. I immediately pop ult. We just clean up the fight. I'm not sure what happened. How did this fall apart so fast for them? This is my first time looking back through these replays. Like I'm really kind of curious. Okay, so Soldier runs away. Oh, okay, they will just fly away. Okay, fair enough. Maybe not the best ult then. But I kill Jericho, and then that's my cue to just go in. And I take the 1v1 with the Surge, and then I just win it. Cool. Okay, so against Winston and dive heroes, if they present themselves to you before they dive, like if they're trying to get through a small choke, and you're able to just sit on them on a corner and keep carnaging them, just keep carnaging them, because they aren't going to be able to go in successfully if they don't have a lot of health. And how they're not going to have a lot of health? Well, if you just sit on the corner and you constantly harass them before they go in, then they're going to have to use cooldowns early. They're going to take a bunch of damage. They're not going to be able to play where they want, because they just have no cooldown. So I'm able to constantly hold this corner and just hit Winston. So then he has to just jump out and then do nothing. But it's important that you don't like tunnel vision on these tanks, because you're not always going to be able to hit them all the time. You see how I'm still on this corner, because now I know I can't really go for the Winston. So then once I see the Winston close to me, I go for the Carnage, because he's in my face. So like I'm going for the Winston as long as he's a readily available target. But like as soon as I realize that he isn't quite killable, or there's someone else more killable, then I'm gonna swap my focus to someone else. But then I turn around, right, and I see that he's the only one I can shoot. So I just knife Winston, and I try and make it as annoying for him to play as possible. And I can do this because I know he's got no bubble, so I can just harass him. It's really easy to harass dive tanks with knife, because you can just throw it in there, and then you can just stop their movement. So like, you know, Doom Slam, Ball Grapple, Winston Jump, Diva Fly. You can disrupt all these movement abilities by just leaving the knife in there, and that makes it really hard for them to play. And obviously once Winston dies, I'm just gonna walk forward. Especially after I see that they have no sleep. I'm just going in there. So that's kind of how you play around dive tanks. You want to harass them before they jump in as much as possible to force our cooldowns to make them low HP. And then when they do jump in, you know, if you can go for them easily, then, you know, maybe harass them a little bit. But like, you have to make the choice. Okay, can I go for the Winston right now? Not really. So I'm just going to go for his backline, because now his backline is unprotected. It's important you don't like focus on these tanks if they're not killable. Let me try and show you another example. And it is easier to do this on like very close quarters maps, because they have to really walk into you in order to get value. Now here is a moment where I'm going to ignore the Winston, because I hit the nano and I know Winston's nano, so it's like, okay, no point going for him. Let's just do a backline trade, because look, me going for him is now like 50% less effective. What can I do if I go for this Winston? Nothing. Oh, I can Carnage him. It does like 50 damage. Oh, I can knife him. It does like 20 damage. Cool. That doesn't do anything for me. And me shouting my teammate isn't going to do anything, because one, it gets blocked by the bubble, I think, and two, he's just going to shred through the health. So the best thing I can do is just ignore the tank, and then just go for his backline. So you see, I'm forcing out wave. I force out slide, and then once I forced out these cooldowns, I know I can just get an easy ult. And then I'll just go in, he misses the sleep, but even if he did hit the sleep, it doesn't matter, because I've got shout, I've got a lot of HP, there's no way in hell they can possibly kill me. And now I'm going for the Winston, because he's the only one left alive. So I won that fight by ignoring the Winston there. You have to really weigh your options when you're playing against these dive tanks. You have to ask yourself, okay, is me shooting this tank a good idea right now? Or could I be going for someone who's maybe more killable, someone I can force out the cooldowns of more? Here, I go for the Winston Lucio, because my whole team is kind of clumped up here, and I don't really want to fight like too many people like on my own. But honestly, in this situation, I don't think it really would have mattered. I could have gone for any of these guys, and we would have been fine, because here I can help my Genji go in and kill these two, and then we can just go back to these guys. And over here, well, I've got Kiriko, Anna, and Mei here. so they're not really gonna die. So I can go anywhere right now and just get anything done. But I chose to go for the people who are closest to me, or the enemies who are closest. So right now, you know, I've got two choices. Do I go for these guys or do I go for this guy? Now on my screen right now, if I looked, it would have looked pretty unfavorable. So I would have been in my right mind to go for this guy anyway. But looking at it retroactively, I could have gone for anyone. Now I went for the Winston because I knew he was going to get frozen by the male, and then we're able to just clean up the fight pretty easily. Bright eyes, and then there we go. So that's how you deal with dive tanks. Okay. Now that I've gone over the replays, I'm gonna just go over a game live, just like demonstrate how I play. Go over my thought process, and if I lose horribly, then I lose horribly. You know, it is what it is. Now, normally I would like to use cooldowns to walk out of the spawn faster, but because Shout's on such a long cooldown, you can't really do that, because by the time you get to the fight, like, you know, by the time I get to the bridge, it's gonna be already on cooldown. I'm not gonna have it when I need it. Okay, I'm just gonna move forward. Doom has no cooldowns. I go for him, and now I'm gonna continue walking forward. I'm gonna use Shout to capitalize on the kills here, and then once my Shout runs out, I'm gonna back up, because I can't really be too far in if I die with my Shout. Like now I'm just gonna play here. I'm gonna go for knives, try and pull people, or maybe I can shoot over here. Okay, he's on Hog now, I think. Yeah, Hog. So against Hog, you have to do a lot of shooting the Hog. It's kind of the truth. You have to do a lot of shooting the Hog here. I'm gonna see if I can pull someone off the map. No, I can't. Okay. I'm gonna go for Carnage. He's just playing really far away for some reason. Pull him in. I can't exactly push him because he's not really low HP. Got a knife Mercy. I might be able to make something happen here. Maybe. Oh, okay. They just run away. Fair enough. And yeah, I made a mistake by kind of leaving here, because I just allowed them to walk forward for free. He's so low. I killed him. Okay, I might still be able to get out though. Dodge the hook, because I'm a pro. Alright, there we go. Nice. Okay, now I've got my cooldowns and stuff, I'm just gonna walk forward and go for players. Okay, I'm gonna use the corner to be able to walk forward, and I can also use it to get healed as well. Okay, and then when I get low, I can just walk forward. Where is anyone killable? Okay, well the Hog's gonna just one-tap me. There's not a lot I can do about that. I'm trying to use cover! Just walking on isolated targets. Then I'm gonna use my Shout to walk on the Mercy. Okay, so there you can see I used all my cooldowns to go in, and then I pressed ult, and then I got my cooldowns back. I personally think they should probably just remove this perk, or at least nerf it heavily. Like, make it so it doesn't give you all cooldowns back. It's so broken. It's so good. I'm not gonna worry about that soldier. It's not really my job to worry about that soldier. I need to just hold the front line here, even if it's against Hog. Because last time I let the Hog run free, he was able to kill my team. I might be able to pull him off the map. Okay. Go for a Shout. Then I just push forward. Get the Freya's low. Yeah, good luck trying to hit a Freya with a knife, by the way. You can go for it, but it's fine. But it's gonna be really hard to hit. But you see, you know, I'm just holding corners. You're using my Carnage on my knife constantly. I'm not doing anything special. Oh, he's got bridge off the map. You're pissed. Oh no, he just jumped over. What? So I push Zarya because he has no bubbles. And I didn't even need to use my Shout because I was already close enough to do damage. I didn't need to use it to live either. Now, if she was a bit further away, then I would use my Shout so I can close the distance. That's like the main reason why you use Shout in the first place. Because sure, you can just walk on someone, but the Shout is going to give you that speed so that you can actually get on them and actually start doing damage on them. Yeah, I think Hog, Zarya, Ryan are definitely Quinn's hardest matchups. But you know, if the enemy is not, you know, the greatest player, it's gonna be decently easy to just walk forward and kill him. But like against good players, you really have to do a good job of, you know, forcing out Hook, forcing out Breather, trying to get like a bubble or two out, and playing space around them. Especially on a small map like this, you really have to try and make it work. Yeah, Reaper gets bubbled. I'm just gonna go for him, and then now because they have no bubbles, I can actually just go for their team. It doesn't really matter who, because I can just go for anyone. But, yeah, I have no shouts. So I have to play a little bit more cautiously. Okay, go for the Carnage because I can, and obviously knifing as many people as possible is going to give me the best opportunities to go for kills. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, okay, too far. Yeah, a big mistake that I personally make a lot is using Carnage when they're too far away. But if they're too far away and you Carnage, you're gonna waste your cooldown, and you're gonna get no value. Okay, here I don't really think I should go main because Zarya Reaper is just gonna eat me. So I'd rather take a flank, try and distract. I can kind of just chill here and then just shout out. I think I'm still dead though. Yeah, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have gone for the flank. Maybe I should go main. Just like brute force it, I guess. Like I don't think brute forcing main there is a good idea because I just get fucked. Because they have Freya or Reaper. Okay, maybe I just go point then. Like if I just force point, well, like what are they gonna do? Even if the Reaper is there, it doesn't really matter, because I can just live anyway. I'm just gonna walk on these guys. I got literally no one. Okay, well. I was gonna go for the point, but then I got wing ulted, so I kinda had to try and make something happen. Actually, I don't like the idea of me going main here. I mean, like, maybe I should. Like I don't like the idea of it. It just doesn't sit right. I have Shao. I don't really have too much to be afraid of. It's just like, what exactly am I meant to do here? Bad Carnage. Choose one bubble. If I can also have a second one, that'd be really good. Oh, well, I can't. I try my best. Okay. Oh, I'm stuck on something. You see, like when I get low, I just go behind a corner and I live. Okay. Rough start. It's just like, bro, against like comp, it's so hard to just walk in. Like I didn't want to do it, but like maybe I should have just tried it anyway. Just put trust in my DPS to take angles. I mean, we can probably just do the same thing that they were doing. You using my knife. I'm trying to get pulls. Okay, that's one bubble. I'm gonna use my shot to get out. I was in, and now I'm gonna use my shot to get out. Even though he's just walking on me. Nice. Just trying to go for anyone right now. I'm actually dead. Can use my shot to get out. Although Zarya is quite low, so I can probably just go in. Kill him. I don't have Shao right now, but I can need to touch. I can't let them cap for us. It's gonna be super hard to win. Mora has no face, so if I see Mora, I can definitely go for that guy. So I can force that bubble. And now I've got to play a little safer because I have no shout. Okay, I'm gonna actually move forward. I have grab, so it's just kind of fun. And then yeah, there's not a lot I can do. They have ults. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. You know, someone would have to test. But I think you can use your ult in grab, because I know you can use your ult in cage if you've got this perk. But I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, like Zarya Reaper is like a pretty hard comp to deal with. But as long as you kind of play good, then you'll win. I'm just gonna use my ult to make it hard for them to play. Carnage, knife. Gonna off-fang with the Reaper. I'm gonna go for the Mercy instead, but you know, my chunkest aim. Why is it that no one can hit any shot? Okay, I use shout to go on these guys. Because they have no movement abilities. Well, that knife would have been sick if I hit that, by the way, right? And a bad Carnage because I was too far away. But that's like how you play Queen. You just play corners, use your knife and your Carnage often, and then when you see an opportunity to use your shout, you just go in with shout. It's simple. It's not like the easiest thing ever, especially if you're playing against, you know, Zarya Reaper, right? Right, but you can definitely still make it work. You just have to play kind of patient. You have to really use your shout well. I think what makes a good JQ player, like not as good to a really good JQ player, is definitely the shout usage. I think the shout usage is definitely what like makes the difference there. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you want coaching from me, check out the top link in the description. It's my academy where I teach players how to actually rank up. I give them VOD reviews. I've got a bunch of courses in there. I'm currently making hero guides for every hero. Right now I'm making one for Queen. So if you're interested in that, check out the top link in the description. Peace.